Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Tea with Mon Amie. I am here today with a sort of different episode. So, I am going to hop on a Zoom call with a very special guest momentarily. In the meantime, I kind of want to explain what this episode is going to be. So, I'm on Zoom, obviously. If you're listening to the audio quality and it sounds different, or if you notice that I'm breaking a lot, it's because I am at home sick. But I'm getting the chance to be able to talk to our guest, who I will let into the Zoom here right now, and we'll talk a little bit more about what we'll be talking about today. So here we go. So I am here today with my special guest, who is Jessica Feldman. Welcome to the podcast, Jessica.
Oh my gosh, thanks.
How are you? How's everything?
Doing swell, honestly. I could have it worse right now, so I can't complain.
Yes, yes. And we're over Zoom. So as I mentioned before, I have COVID and your fiance has COVID too, huh?
He does have COVID and he has it because I gave it to him. Whoops, sorry about that. I'm over it. I have mature antibodies and he's stuck with it. So sorry.
Yeah. This is what we're doing because of that. So, it is what it is. We're happy to have you. So, today we are doing a Where Are They Now episode because Jessica used to work at Mon Amie back in the day. The day was maybe 2 years ago.
It wasn't that long ago.
Jessica used to work at Mon Amie, and since she has done quite a lot. You graduated college, which is super awesome. We're so excited and proud of you for that. And you now have a new job. And we're going to talk about all of that. But in the meantime, I gave you kind of an intro. So why don't you tell everybody more about who you are and all of that good stuff?
Yeah. So, I'm Jessica and I grew up in Orange County. I've lived in Orange County my whole life. Um, I graduated from UCLA after transferring there. And I have ultimately always wanted to be in marketing. So that's where my life took me. Um, I have three gorgeous cats that I am obsessed with. They are my life. I put their needs above my own. And I am engaged now. So I have something in common with all of Mon Amie's customers. So that's cool.
Yeah, that's cool now.
Now.
Well, it's cool now, like you worked here and you weren't engaged when you worked here, but we all knew it was heading that way. So
Yeah.
we're all super excited about it. So what is it that you're doing now? Where do you work now?
I work at Restore Med Clinic. It is a medical spa and regenerative medicine clinic in Newport Beach, California. It's actually literally right around the corner from Mon Amie, so I didn't stray too far.
Mhm.
And I'm the marketing director there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So a little different than what you were doing at Mon Amie. What were you doing at Mon Amie when you were here or there?
Yeah. I was a stylist. So I helped brides out. I was like their personal companion along the journey of finding their dress. And but I did kind of do a little bit of marketing. I mean, I started like the whole individual stylist Instagram thing, if you remember, my great self.
I remember, yes, yeah, Jessica. And this is something that a lot of brides probably can relate to now, because I know that since you kind of pioneered that, we've had a couple other stylists be very successful with that. But when you were here, you kind of walked people through it and taught them how you were doing it and how you were successful with finding brides and being a better assistant to them via social channels. So um, that was definitely something that that was part of your legacy at Mon Amie.
Oh, wow. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, big
I'm honored.
deal.
Wow.
It's a big deal.
I'm gonna put that on my resume. Worked here, left a legacy.
Hey, that's who you are. You leave a little bit of you wherever you go.
Amazing. Love that.
You and some cat hair. Mm-hmm.
A lot of cat hair for sure.
One thing we did want to talk about was, or one thing, we were excited to talk to you about was the reason we started this little series of the podcast is because we get a lot of brides that come in and they'll come in for their alterations and they'll be like, oh, or they'll call us back, or they'll come in with referrals and they'll be like, oh, I worked with so and so when they were here and they were so great, and are they still here? And a lot of times, with retail, we'll say no, they're not still here. It's also COVID. It's retail and COVID. So people are not here right now.
Yeah.
But they'll be like, oh, how are they? What are they up to? And, you were a stylist for how many years with us? 2 or 3?
Almost 3. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think people really understand how many brides you see in a year as a full-time stylist.
Yeah, totally.
So there's a lot of people that, and you really kind of cultivate these really close relationships with brides. So there's a lot of people that ask. So we wanted to start this series to show people where these people are that they ask about. So you, fan favorite, tell me about some of your favorite brides and your experiences with them while you were at Mon Amie.
Ooh, oh my gosh. I feel like later I'm gonna think about like so many that I missed, because I feel like I just had so many. But I mean, definitely the first one that comes to my mind is Lauren, because I went to her wedding.
Mm-hmm. I talk about her, yeah.
Yeah, Lauren was awesome. We like bonded from the first appointment, and she did come back 6 times, but that's okay. She knew that it was the dress. We put together an entire ensemble for her. She had this awesome like beaded shoulder cape type thing that went with the dress that we put together, and she just had kind of like a boho, like rock and roll spirit, and I feel like we just connected on that type of level because we were just very much the same person and listened to the same type of music. And she would always come in with her mom, and um we would, first things first, get the champagne. We would talk. I mean, when she came in, we would literally pick up the conversation from where we were last time. And we talked like we had known each other for like ever.
Mm-hmm.
And she invited me to her wedding. And so I got to see her walk down the aisle in her dress and her awesome beaded cape thing. I don't know what to call it. It was like a one of a kind masterpiece. That was just so unique. And I got to watch her get married, and it was just like one of the coolest opportunities I think I've had, and definitely the coolest opportunity I had at Mon Amie, because it was super special. So that was very memorable for me, and I will remember that forever. I had another bride. The second one that pops into my head is Megan. She was if I can remember correctly, because I think I worked with her like a year into working at Mon Amie or so. So she was one of, and I had been there almost 3 years. So she was kind of more towards the beginning, but if I remember correctly, she didn't have an appointment and had a bad experience somewhere else and called us and came in like right before we closed. And originally we weren't going to be able to see her. So she just kind of was browsing, and I ended up finishing an appointment early. So I was able to help her out. And she was just genuinely one of the nicest people I think I've ever met in my life. And she was super sweet. She was drop dead gorgeous. She was actually a model for Show Me Your Moo Moo. She's like a fit model and all this stuff, just absolutely beautiful and the nicest, most down to earth person. Her mom was incredible, super sweet. They were so thankful. And we found her perfect dress within like 30 minutes, and that was it. And she said yes to the dress, and she ended up sending me, like all her wedding photos. She sent me her proposal video, which was while she was jumping out of an airplane with her fiance. He proposed to her. They had this amazing, like, magical wedding in Hawaii. And yeah, I just remember her solely based off her personality. She was just one of those like one of a kind spirits. Those are like the top two that I remember.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember both of those people too, actually.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah. Yeah. I remember Lauren for sure, because I remember you going to that wedding, and she got married in a coffee shop, didn't she? Or she had a reception at a coffee shop, if I remember right.
Yeah. She got married at a coffee shop in Santa Ana. That was like super, super cool. I mean, she decorated it so beautifully. It was awesome. And it was definitely, and I think that's like why we connected so well too, because I showed up at her wedding and I was like, this is my dream wedding. Like, down to the floral arrangements and the colors. I was like, oh my God, like, can I steal everything you have here and just like hold on to it, and then I'll just use it for my wedding. So I mean, we literally had like the same mindset, and it's super cool when you come across those people, because I feel like that's like such a rare experience to come across somebody that you just like instantly connect with on so many levels, and to connect like that so quickly with somebody that you've just never even met before. It's awesome. So I definitely will always remember those experiences.
Yeah. So kind of on that similar note, it's been, when did you leave Mon Amie? You left Mon Amie 2 years ago, or
I think it was like the summer of like 2019 or something, I think.
So like a year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Year and a half. And now you're at Restore. So what would you say, maybe were some experiences you had, or some things in particular that you learned working at Mon Amie that you think helped you in your career now?
I feel like there's a lot, honestly. I mean, I definitely learned patience and not in like a bad way, but I learned a lot, about being and working so closely with somebody who is in such an emotional
process, and not in a negative way. Obviously, you're getting married, so it's a very happy time. But there's a lot of other emotions that surround that and go into the process. And so I guess to work with people and just be super close in that process with them, you're literally guiding them through it. And the dress is like obviously the biggest deal for 99% of brides, and that's the thing that they look forward to the most. And it's a family moment too. And it kind of goes down in like every family's history. So to be a part of such a special moment, I feel like I learned to like sit back and relax and enjoy working with people on that emotional level, and really learn how to connect with people. And I don't even want to say like learn to connect with people, because I feel like it's not something that you learn. I feel like it's an experience that you have. But to be able to experience that, I feel like I'll always take that with me in everything I do, and to be conscious of what other people are thinking, because you know, we see so many, when I worked at Mon Amie, we see so many brides a day, and so it's super easy to get caught up in the repetition of work and going through each appointment cycle. And that happens, I think, in any job that you have, where you just get caught up in like the day by day tasks and everything that you do. And I still work very closely with like all of our patients at Restore. And so, you know, to be able to separate that emotional connection from your work, I think is super important, because it makes a difference in what you do, and it makes your life at work a lot happier too. And I think that ultimately it like lifts your spirits. So I feel like I learned a lot of like psychological tools at Mon Amie, in a good way, obviously, not a weird like negative way, but I feel like I learned a lot about just working with people and reading their emotions and being able to connect, but also separate that connection from the daily cycle of work, and be able to use those in a way that translates into something that is meaningful every day.
100%. I think that's a really good point that you make about that. People think that like, you know, retail is a little different than what we do at Mon Amie. I feel like people don't necessarily understand that a lot of our job is trying to figure people out, like trying to read people and trying to get a good read on their emotions and knowing not to overstep, you know, like you develop these with these brides that you have good experiences with. I know for me personally, like I could talk to a bride for 20 minutes, and if I see that there is, you know, something that's making her upset, if I see that she feels like she's not having a good experience because of her own stuff, because of her own head, or she's getting down on herself, like that makes me sad, and I don't want to see her like that. So it's a tough line between like, you have to learn like, what is me overstepping with these people that I just met, and like what is me within my own boundaries as the bridal stylist. And I think just learning that, how to read and how to separate, you know, some things is definitely a life skill that you wouldn't get in traditional retail, and you wouldn't get in really anything other than the close environment that is Mon Amie.
Yeah, for sure. I guess like branching off of that too, like side note, one of the things that like, I can't say like I learned it. It's not something I learned, but something that I experienced that like really stood out to me from my time there was that it was super cool and super unique. Like you were saying, it's not traditional retail, like we're selling something, but we're selling and I feel like Laurel like probably said this a million times when we were there, but like you're selling a dream, like you're selling something that somebody has dreamt about since they were little. And I feel like that kind of always stuck with me throughout like all of the appointments that I had. Because obviously it's very relatable. Like as a woman, I mean, my entire Pinterest is riddled with wedding stuff, like even pre-engagement, pre-boyfriend, pre-anything. I had my entire wedding like figured out. Mm-hmm. So to work in a space where we're all on that same psychological level, like it's a bunch of women who like we all share that like innate passion for love and romance, and to be able to like work in a space where we all have that dream in mind and we can just understand each other, like not even say anything to each other, but just understand that about each other, I feel like is way different than working in any other setting. Mm-hmm. And we're all there, like everybody's there for the same reason. Everybody, you know, every bride that walks in is there because they're getting married and they fell in love and they have like a story. And like, I understood that even though I wasn't engaged yet, I was with my boyfriend at the time, but I understood it because I was in a place where those brides were in before they got engaged too. It's kind of like we all shared the same experience in a way. So, yeah, I mean, it was super cool for that reason too. I mean, that was something that like really, really stuck by me.
So another question I feel like people ask all the time is, or people say this all the time. I don't know if when you were there, people would tell you this, but people always go, they always ask you if you're married. And then obviously, you know, for you at the time and me and, you know, we're not married. So the answer is no. They'll be like, well, you must know exactly what you want to get married in. Or, yeah. Right? Every time it goes the same way. I wish I had $1 for every time somebody said that to me. I would be rich.
Seriously. 100%.
So now that you're engaged, do you know what you want to get married in? And do you know what you want to get married in because you had the Pinterest board going for so long? Or do you know what you want to get married in because you worked in bridal for so long? Or both?
Okay. For any bride listening out there, first things first, get off Pinterest. Like, use Pinterest as a kind of like framework, but stop expecting so much from it. I went crazy with my Pinterest purely from boredom and curiosity from working. I think in bridal fueled my Pinterest more than the other way around, you know, it didn't really, and it hasn't really served me a purpose. It's more to look at and to get through my insomnia. But I do know what I want to wear. I would say that working in bridal has shown me what I want to wear more than my Pinterest has. Pinterest is pretty trying on wedding dresses and figuring out what looks good on you and what you feel more comfortable in. That's where you're going to find the answers, because everything looks different online on the same body type and the same person, but when you yourself are standing in different gowns, it's a whole different experience. And obviously I used to try on dresses all the time when I worked at Mon Amie. It's part of the fun of the job. And I think like that gave me an idea too, but also watching everybody else's experiences, I had like more realistic expectations and less expectations going into like dress shopping. Yeah.
What would you say your advice is to other brides out there starting their journey, in their journey? What's your advice to them?
Chill, breathe. It's okay. Don't stress out. Have fun. Enjoy the moment. And you will hopefully, the goal is to never do it again. So enjoy every second, the ups, the downs. Make it fun. Have fun. Be an engaged fiance, because you'll hopefully never have to be an engaged fiance again. And just look forward to being a wife, but take it easy and let everything flow. Let it come naturally. It should be an enjoyable process. It shouldn't be something that you look back on in a couple years and you're like, oh, that was fun, but I'll never do it again. Like, you should really enjoy every moment. Don't let anybody steal your show. And like I said a few seconds ago, get off Pinterest. That's my advice.
I couldn't agree more. As I'm over here on Pinterest, I'm like, ooh. Love Pinterest. But yeah, it's very tough. There's so much out there. You're gonna drive yourself insane. So
yeah, there's always something new too. And so when you're in the moment and you feel something, go for it, because there's always gonna be other options. And just like your man or lady, you stuck with that option. You can make a decision. You can do it. You are capable of making decisions.
Yes, we empower you to make a decision, because you're going, the best part about it too is like you're going to have to make a decision at some point, or else you really will have nothing to wear. So,
100%.
Let's make a decision while we can still romanticize the decision and still make it give you your moment and have all of everything. Because the worst I feel like is when you come in, when you started, and this has happened so many times. I'm glad you brought it up. It's happened so many times where a bride will come in 2 years before her wedding and we're like, you're swimming in time. This is awesome. Like, this is really great. And then she doesn't want to make a decision. She doesn't want to make a decision. And all of a sudden we have 6 months. And I can't do 6 months what I could have done in 2 years.
For sure.
So it's like, make a decision while you can still romanticize the decision,
Yeah. When you're in the moment, that's the best time. You're never going to get that single moment again.
Exactly. And that's coming from ex-bridal stylist, current bride to be.
Yeah.
If anybody would know, it would be you.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you.
Yeah. Well, Jessica, thank you so much for coming on today. Where can everybody find you? What's going on with your social stuff?
Nothing personally. It's pretty dead, but for all you lucky ladies, you brides, you can come get a pre-wedding facial, a little bit of maybe some zhuzhing up, a little touch up, some self-care at Restore Med Clinic. Our Instagram is at Restore Med Clinic, and our website is www.restoremedclinic.com. And if you mention Mon Amie, you'll get a special discount.
Yay! And I have had some work done by Restore, so I really enjoy them and
yay,
recommend them as well. That's coming from me.
So yeah,
me and my lips.
Super trustworthy. Just kidding. They look great.
Well, Jessica, thank you again. For all of you guys, thank you for listening. I know that it's been a little slow with everything going on, and this is a different format this episode, but we definitely appreciate it. If you want to if you want to hear more of us, make sure to like and subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You can follow us at Mon Amie Bridal Salon on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Pinterest, TikTok. I think that's everything. And Wedding Wire and The Knot, all the wedding sites. But if I missed anything, it's at Mon Amie Bridal Salon on everything. Until next Friday, we will see you guys later.
Bye.